Now wants President Obama to release emails that Boehner says show how the White House tried to change the story on what happened in Benghazi. We asked the White House today to provide someone to answer our questions on this issue, but they declined. CNN also asked the ranking Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, but he also declined. I want to welcome Congressman Jim Jordan, a Republican from Ohio who's a member of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, thanks for being here. You heard Jay Carney earlier today talking about this issue. What is your response? What do you think about these talking points?
12 different edits. I mean, you don't need to edit the truth, Jake. 12 different times they changed this. You know, I was thinking, I went through a few different edits to when I was going to propose to my wife, but it was a lot less than 12. You do not need, if you're going to give the truth, you do not need to go through this kind of process. We just want to get to the truth. And the one thing the committee hearing, I think, proved without a shadow of a doubt this week is they knew the truth. They didn't have Mrs. Rice go out and say the truth. She said something different. As Congressman Gowdy said, demonstrably false statements that she made on 5 different shows 5 days after these attacks. That was proven without a doubt in the committee hearing this past week. And so we do need to have happen what Speaker Boehner and Mr. McConnell requested. Let's get the documents so we can all see, so the American people can see. And again, I love what Congressman Gowdy said. There is no statute of limitations on the truth. Let's get to the truth.
So, Congressman, the White House response and the State Department's response is this is not, these emails are not what they're talking about now 8 months after the attacks. This was in the days after the attacks, and they're trying to get information from the CIA, the State Department, the Pentagon, the White House, the National Security Council, get everyone on the same page. In their explanation, this was not about obscuring the truth. It was just about sharing information that they knew definitively. Your response?
Well, then let us see it. What's wrong? Again, let us see it. We want to get to the truth. What we do know, in questioning that came out in this Wednesday's hearing, is the email that had Ms. Newland, Ms. Mills as copies to that email. What we do know in that email is the day after Beth Jones refers to talking to people in Libya that it was a terrorist attack. Mr. Gowdy made that clear in the hearings. So if they want, they can say whatever they want. Just show us the documents. Let us have the documents like we're supposed to have when we're conducting a congressional investigation. This is the Oversight Committee. Stop impeding the investigation. And frankly, remember, this goes back to October when Congressman Chaffetz went to Libya, and they, for the first time, under Mr. Hicks testified, first time ever, State Department sent a lawyer, and they instructed Mr. Hicks, do not talk with Congressman Chaffetz unless this lawyer is present. And I asked Mr. Hicks under oath on the witness stand, has that ever happened in your 22 years of service to this country, in several diplomatic posts around the world? Have you ever had that kind of order? And he said, never. First and only time. So stop trying to keep us from getting to the truth. Just give us the information. Let's have the hearings, and let's let the American people find out what exactly happened.
How do you respond to criticisms from Democrats on the committee that, A, the committee, Republicans on the committee, were not as interested in attacks on diplomatic posts that happened during the Bush administration? There were at least 64 of them during the Bush administration. And B, that House Republicans voted to cut funding for diplomatic and security. And
Charlene,
go ahead.
Charlene Lamb testified at the October 12th hearing, the hearing the Oversight Committee had last year. She testified this was not about resources. This was the fact that Eric Nordstrom repeatedly asked for additional security personnel to be in Libya was not only denied additional help, but they had what they had was reduced. Had nothing to do with resources, according to Charlene Lamb's testimony in front of the committee last October. So the best evidence is the testimony we received from the people who made the decisions. That's what Charlene Lamb said to this resources question that the other party wants to raise.
Oh, and Congressman, lastly, you and House Oversight Committee Chairman Issa say you're going to hold responsible officials accountable for the IRS inquiries into certain 501c4 groups, many of them Tea Party groups. What does that mean? What do you and Congressman Issa plan to do?
Same thing. Have hearings, get to the truth. Now think about this. We staff at the Oversight Committee have talked to the Inspector General's office. This was over 2 years looking for key words, looking for Tea Party, looking for 9/12, systematically targeting conservative-leaning groups. Your government doing that to you as an American citizen, exercising your First Amendment rights to be involved in groups that you want to be involved. That is unconscionable, and it went on for a couple years. And systematically using those words to find people. And let's remember, this is not just some low-level staffer at the IRS in Cincinnati's office. The Tea Party groups around the country were targeted. We had complaints from everyone, and that's why Congressman Issa and I sent the letter, and that's why next week you'll get the report from the Inspector General.
All right, Congressman Jim Jordan, we have to leave it there. We're about to lose the satellite. Thanks so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.